Sup, tell me, how in your opinion tech companies care about left-handed people? For example, when reviewing ROG Chakram gaming mouse, I realized that I've said no words about its hand-wise design, which is way too for righties. That's why we've decided to test kinda tolerant product from the gaming world, ASUS ROG Pugio II, that should do well with any preferences. Welcome to TechFellas, my name is Bogdan, and let's tech into it. So the grab. Despite the absence of any notches for fingers, the mouse lies pretty confidently in hands. Its body is made of a matte plastic, gladly without a soft touch coating. This has a positive practical effect, it's very easy to wipe the mouse from dirt. My only complaint is the wedge-shaped cutout at the back. It of course makes design more interesting, but also is a perfect place for collecting dust. If you're a fan of backlight, you can find it in the arc light guide near the recently mentioned cutout, in a logo that shines through translucent plastic, and the wheel is also glowing. Like in Chakram, here you can slip your own logo instead of the company's one. Together with the radio connector, all that lives under the cover of the back panel that holds by means of a magnet. If the installation of that blank piece for the custom logo in the most expensive mouse is extremely simple, here the plastic plate really struggles back. By looking at this piece, I can say that the guy who tested this mouse before me couldn't cope with this task normally. On the other hand, if you really want it, you can print your logo on the film, cut it out carefully and just place it inside without having a hard time installing it as we did. The switches under the main buttons can also be replaced. Unfortunately not with your bare hands, as you will have to use a screwdriver to remove the buttons. The switches live in sockets, they are made by OMRON company, and in the kit you get an additional couple of Japanese ones. On the screen now you can see all supported types of switches for this mouse. Now we dive even deeper into the components. The wheel encoder here is from TTC. Its button and all the other switches for side buttons are made by Huano company. Optical sensor is Pixart PAW3335DB. Just wondering, how many of you actually find this data useful? The latter one is reliably covered by a battery bracket, so we couldn't film it on the camera. By the way, the battery itself is located in the middle of the device, which determines the center of mass. The total weight of Pugio II is around 100 grams. As you can see, the side buttons here are located on both sides. Depends on how crazy you are or how good you with your ring finger, you can use all four of them. Others will be pleased knowing that they are also holding on magnets, so if any of them seems to be extra for you, in the kit you can find socket covers for 2, 3 and even all 4 buttons. The mouse works nicely on all adequate and semi-adequate surfaces, including MacBook and my shaggy hip. You can adjust the distance between the table and the sensor, at which it still recognizes the movement. At the maximum, it completely excludes glitches from accidentally lifting the mouse. The maximum polling frequency in wired and radio modes is 1000 Hz, as for Bluetooth it is 125, which is not impressive on paper, but in practice it is still enough for normal gameplay. The sensor recognizes acceleration up to 40 G and speeds up to 400 inches per second, which is bloody a lot. Sensitivity covers from 100 to 16,000 dpi. The button for switching it lives on the bottom. And on the internet many people hate this position, but I managed to press it normally, without accidentally clicking all the buttons in a row. In the same way, people do not enjoy the slider that switches modes, and I will probably agree with them. Turning off the mouse in a hurry often makes it switch to another wireless mode. The central position simply slips through because the slider holds not very confidently. However, eventually you get used to it. If to do that carefully, everything will be okay. In the Armory Crate app, you can set the backlight. One of the modes acts like a charge indication, so that you do not forget to feed the mouse. The backlight itself eats up the battery noticeably, but even when using it, we couldn't set Pugio II down to 0 in a week. Theoretical limits of battery life for 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth connections are 69 and 100 hours respectively. Remember tons of side buttons I mentioned before? In the same app, you can set functions for which these buttons are responsible. How about the gaming process? I frankly do not feel a big difference among its connection methods. The mouse is always equally responsive. Hands do not get tired or numb, even if you play all day with some breaks for eating food. We frankly haven't found anything to blame it for. It also pleases that the mouse can be charged via cable during the use. So even if an empty battery punches you in the face, any Type-C cable will solve this problem. Summarizing the stuff, ASUS ROG Pugio II costs $100, which is a lot. But on the other hand, such a price is quite adequate for the things that ASUS offers with the mouse. With many features taken from the Chakram, namely interchangeable main switches, backlighting customization, 3 connection options and a high maximum DPI, Pugio II costs half the price of the flagship model and doesn't demand using it with one particular hand. That's why I can safely recommend this mouse for buying. And this is it for today. In the description box below you will find the links to the internet stores where you can do that. And if you like this video, then why not to support our channel by subscribing to it, hitting the like button and ringing the bell to stay tuned for more cool content. My thanks for watching and cheers!